Something nobody told me about when I became a manager was that I was going to have to manage contractors and vendors. If you're new to IT leadership, and not only do you have to manage your team, but you're having to manage vendors, MSPs, and other contractors, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Gabe Esqueda, the mind behind Having Strategies. Let's get you ready to build and manage vendor relations that scale with your organization. All right, first let's get clear on the roles. In IT, you're dealing with an MSP, or managed services providers. These companies often outsource specific services or set of services in IT. An example will be having your MSP for telephony, which involves setting up a service agreement for monitoring and perhaps managing adds, moves, and changes to the configuration of your phone infrastructure. Think of this relation as hiring a company to take care of the landscaping at home. The company will take care of your soil and your plants, but you will be looking at your garden every day. If you notice something, please inform them. Remember, this agreement doesn't include redesigning your garden. Similar to an MSP, they will maintain the service according to the agreement. However, if you want to refresh or rebuild your entire infrastructure, you will need to involve another group, which will incur additional costs. Next one are VARs, or value-added resellers. These companies bundle hardware or software with services. Some manufacturers of hardware and software in IT, like Cisco or Dell, prefer to sell their services through VARs. This allows them to free themselves from a portion of the sales cycle, which involves building deals with the customer. It also allows the VARs to generate revenue by bundling their own professional services for design and configuration. This relation is similar to that of a car dealer. They don't manufacture the car, they will sell you the car and some services on the vehicle. With VARs, as with car dealers, you must be mindful of overpaying for features of services. Do your research, get multiple bids, and communicate clearly what you're looking for. Now, contractors. These are short-term experts brought in for specific goals. For example, patching software or hardware, installing wiring in a building, cleaning up user accounts, programming a web service. The important thing with contractors is having a well-defined scope. You want to reduce misunderstandings or scope creep as much as possible. Finally, vendors. They'll sell you tech or support contracts. Ensure that they're approved to work with your company, as there may be regulatory or internal control reasons that prevent you from working with these vendors. For example, if your company requires PCI or HIPAA compliance, but the software you're buying does not have it, then you will need to find other options. Now here's a hot tip. Just because a vendor is doing technical work, it doesn't mean they're your vendor. Ask who owns the relation, whether it is tied to executive decisions. Example, if you get a call from a solar panel vendor needing IT connectivity for their installation, it's important to clarify who manages the vendor relation and collaborate accordingly with them to ensure it works for the company. Now on to the paperwork. Before you greenlight any project, get familiar with 3 types of agreements. First one is MSAs, or Master Service Agreements. These cover liabilities, payment terms, and terminations of service. They're often established as the initial phase of approving another company to work with your organization. SOWs, Statements of Work or Scope of Work. They clarify scope, timelines, and deliverables. They're often used by contractors or professional services for specific projects or initiatives. Finally, SLAs, Service Level Agreements. They cover uptime guarantees, response times, and escalation procedures, often used by MSPs as they will monitor and manage services according to these agreements. Now here's the hot tip. Always involve your legal and procurement teams to review these agreements, as they have legal and financial implications for your organization. Alright, let's summarize the potential traps you can fall into so you can avoid them. 1. Assuming MSPs handle everything automatically. 2. Working with vendors without confirming they're approved. Number 3. Overpaying VARs for features that you'll never use. Number 4. Bringing in contractors with no clear scope or exit plan. These aren't just technical missteps, they're leadership ones. This is where most guides stop, but you're here for leadership. Peter Drucker taught us that organizations are human constructs. This means they're not logical systems. They're shaped by personalities, relationships, and politics. Some vendors are untouchable, not because they're the best, but because an executive trusts them. Contracts aren't always about performance. They're often about history. Don't make public critiques until you know the backstory. If you inherit a vendor relationship, You're inheriting somebody's trust. Know what you're walking into. Want to stay ahead? Do this. Create vendor folders with contracts, contacts, and escalation paths. Track renewal dates in your calendar or your ticketing system. Request quarterly check-ins from your key partners. Ask for executive summaries, not just technical reports. Deming said, you must have a supplier relationship of constant improvement. That starts with you managing the relationship, not just the service. If this gave you a clearer picture of how to work with IT vendors, hit the like and subscribe. There's a free downloadable guide in the description if you haven't grabbed it yet, and more videos on the way to help you grow from manager to leader, one smart decision at a time.